the next level of service we're going to discuss right now is what is happening on the zonal level and different collaborations and how COVID affected that. Our first zonal speaker right now is going to be Steve from Arizona. So Steve.
All right, I'm Steve and I'm an addict. A lot of great stuff I've been hearing, and yeah, just keep it up. You know, we just find different ways of carrying the message into facilities and to the public. It's just awesome to hear so many different things. So I just like to start off and give a little background. I was on the Fellowship Development Rural and Isolated Communities Work Group for the Western Zonal Forum. And just a little history, back in 1991, the delegates formed from the West, from Colorado, north and south to Texas, all the way to the West Coast, started the Western States Zonal Forum. Alaska was not in the forum at that time. They were actually going between the Western States and Canada. And then a few years later, the Rocky Mountain, which was Colorado, Wyoming, and then Montana, they started their own zonal forum. And then early 2000s, Alaska came in, and we're now ratified with like 13 regions. And if you look at any zonal map, you know, Alaska is huge. You know, if you took Alaska, put it over the Western United States, it's going to cover all of the Western United States. They have a real problem with communicating. You know, there's some inaccessible communities during the wintertime, especially, you know, and sometimes the bandwidth for internet is really bad. So that's where the Western State Zonal Forum started and is now. About 5 years ago, we got together and created a mission statement, some direction and a vision to get together and plan service. And through that, you know, before that, it was about you know, sharing common challenges and solutions and being a resource.
Steve, one of the most interesting things too about your zone, you had several H&I and PR webinars. I haven't heard of any other service body across the United States, really, or anywhere that has combined those two service committees and done extensive webinars. And that was done during the pandemic, correct?
Actually, back in 2017, we all headed up to Alaska, and one of our regents elected not to go. And we said, all right, well, how do you want to participate? So this was in 2017, in January, in Fairbanks, Alaska, where it's like negative 41 below. And so they found the software, which was Zoom, and sent up all the equipment. And they participated in 2017 by Zoom. And that was our first service meeting by Zoom at a zonal forum. So going forward, we in 2019, we formed a work group to reach out to isolated and rural communities. And out of that work group, we decided that we wanted every quarter to do an H&I PR Connect to get us talking to Alaska, to New Mexico, because in the Western State Zonal Forum, you have Alaska, and then I don't it's got to be over like 12 from the Barrow, Alaska to like New Mexico. It's got to be over 1,200 miles in distance, and we can't get together, you know, on a regular basis. It costs a lot of money, so we decided a cost-effective way was to meet by work group is by Zoom, and we started getting together and did some PR, like mock PR presentations and whatnot. And these were last year in 2019. And when we did them, we had like 12, 15, 20 we're going aligned in this direction. So whenever the pandemic hit, we got together and we're on one of our regular meetings and said, what do we want to do? You know, we had an option to do a flyer or some kind of public information thing, or what we came up with was doing back in April a roundtable discussion where we wanted to see what everybody else was doing, and out of that, find some speakers, find who's doing what on the East Coast, middle of the country, or wherever, and we put together some really good.
Yeah, I remember, Steve, this was actually the first time I heard that New Mexico was doing virtual prison meetings. Did you not have someone on there from Australia also? I think I recall you had Australia prisons on there.
We did. I don't remember. We had Australia prisons. I've never heard of that, but we did have did a presentation with Tom Kay from New Mexico, which is the Rio Grande region, and he was the PR chair for the Rio Grande region, and he did extensive reaching out and contact to the state prisons of New Mexico. Also, they have established such a great relationship with the New Mexico state prisons that they actually have in normal times they would have inmates who had the privileges at their regional convention on Saturday night, and then on Sunday they would blast their Sunday morning spiritual speaker into the prisons. So here in Arizona, we took that, and you know, nothing's new around here. So we took that, we did it at an area level. We're planning to do it at a regional level, and it's a very good thing. They've been doing it in California for a long time.
No, I was going to ask about the H&I prison speaker jam that you guys had with recordings, because I also know that Connecticut and some other regions are looking for current recordings that they could send into their prisons, and that you guys had a specific speaker jam for that. Can you just tell us like about that for 2 seconds?
Okay, so that was an area event, southeastern Arizona. And I can put my information after I'm done speaking. I'll put my information. If anybody's interested in the audio files for that, you can email me. I can send them off to you. And what we did was we had a whole weekend of speakers for H&I with different topics over Labor Day weekend. And we took those, made them audio files, and we sent them into the state prison in Arizona. So that's one thing that we did. What we have worked on, and I'll put it in the chat, is this flyer, and it's editable. You can download it. You can do whatever you want, but we wanted to get it out to any rural or isolated community, any new group or anybody, and just list where to go for certain services, where to go for virtual meetings, where to go for your local website, where to go for your local service body or whatnot. So I uploaded that in there, and I uploaded also the link to the virtual outreach videos. You go on there, you can hear our different stuff from the Western State Zonal Forum. It's WSZF, and it's followed by whatever we did. You know, there's more than just us up here in Western States. I got to thank Dennis. He helped out with some of the videos and whatnot too. I think he's from Northern New York, and anybody else who participated in that. We really had a really good showing a couple times. One time we had like 150 attendees. You know, that was just awesome. And we're in like several different countries also. So one of the biggest things that we did and was really good for us is we had an open roundtable discussion. We had people come in, say where they're at, share where they're at, give them a little bit of time, went around the room, and out of that, we saw what we needed to do and where we needed to go. And right now, with this Western State Zonal Forum, what we do is we have work groups, and the work, they last as long as they're needed. Once we fulfill our duties or what we were asked to do, then it's dissolved. And both of our working work groups with the Western State Zonal Forum have been dissolved, and we're going to get together online in January, do another scan or inventory of the regions, and then see where we want to go then. And there's a lot of talk where we want to collaborate with other zones and get together and see what we can do. Seems to be sometimes there's a bottleneck between regions and world. So here we got some good people at the zonal level and all over the world where we can utilize them in different ways.
So yeah, Steve, that's some incredible information, and I want to just point out that Steve has been a regular attendee, mostly regular, of the Northeast Zonal Forum Public Relations Subcommittee. He's given us a lot of input there and connections that we used for our virtual conference, and they're doing some great stuff. And actually, I just wanted to say, I don't know of any other region, and our zone has not done H&I and PR connected workshops. And it's incredibly important going forward that those two subcommittees work together. So thank you so much for that, Steve.